It all began at 5:15 p.m., November 23rd, 1963, in an episode titled The Unearthly Child. Beginning in a junkyard in contemporary London, the show introduced us to its four main characters of the time: the Doctor, Ian Chesterton, Barbara Wright, and their student Susan Foreman. The teachers, Ian and Barbara, enter the TARDIS to try and find their student Susan. Upon entering, they find Susan and a man who claims to be her grandfather.
But I don't recommend you start there. If you did, you'd have 16.666 consecutive days of watching to do. That's 400 hours, 23,998 minutes, 1,400,000 seconds.
This is assuming you can even find all the episodes and go through them seamlessly. This time does not include sleep, eating, or using the bathroom.
Doctor Who has been around for 54 years, but to make it simpler, we'll start from a relaunch of Doctor Who.
After years of bugging BBC, Russell T Davies finally convinced him to begin airing Doctor Who again, having him and two others, Julie Gardner and Mal Young, as executive producers. But enough about real life. Time to explain the actual show.
Basically, the main character is a renegade Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. He stole a TARDIS and has been running ever since. The Time Lords were fighting in the Time War against the Daleks of Skaro. The Daleks are a race of squid things that are inside tank-like robotic shells that are equipped with a whisk and a toilet plunger. Created by an evil colleague named Davros, the Daleks experience no other emotion other than hatred, making them the ultimate warrior.
Time Lords have the ability to regenerate when they are severely injured, though they can only have 12 regenerations. Through this quality, it allows the Time Lords to live for a very long time. It also allows the actor who portrays the Doctor to leave without ending the show. This is one of the many ways Doctor Who has remained the longest-running sci-fi television series. There has been a total of 13 actors who have portrayed the Doctor. They are as follows:
William Hartnell,
Patrick Troughton,
John Pertwee,
Tom Baker,
Peter Davison,
Colin Baker,
Sylvester McCoy,
Paul McGann,
John Hurt,
Christopher Eccleston,
David Tennant,
Matt Smith.
and Peter Capaldi.
In Series 1, the Doctor is portrayed by Christopher Eccleston. He's fantastic.
Fantastic! 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 Fantastic!
I don't understand. In what way is that fantastic?
Anyways, his companion is a human named Rose Tyler, who he meets in the year 2005. He also later meets Jack Harkness during the London Blitz with gas mask zombies. After death by absorbing the time vortex from Rose, which Rose absorbed from the TARDIS, the Doctor regenerates into David Tennant.
And now for the history of David Tennant. Allons-y.
The sauce. Allons-y. Allons-y. I should say allons-y more often. Allons-y. Look sharp, Rose Tyler. Allons-y. And then, it'd be really brilliant if I met someone called Alonzo, because then I could say allons-y, Alonzo, every time. You're staring at me. Anyway, lead on. Allons-y, but not too fast. Our ankle's going.
I'll show you where my ankle's going.
You got anyone called Alonzo?
I don't think so. Is that important?
Yeah, I suppose not. What was your name? Who? Allons-y. Now, allons-y. Allons-y.
David Tennant, also known as Ten, is a 10th portrayal of the Doctor. His companions begin with Rose. After some unfortunate events, Rose is no longer with the Doctor. He then has a short encounter with Donna Noble. Afterwards, he meets Martha Jones, and she becomes his next companion. At one point, the Doctor and Martha are stranded in 1969 after being touched by a weeping angel and need the help of a couple of regular civilians named Sally Spear and Larry Nightingale to send the TARDIS back to them. Later, after meeting Jack again, they travel 100 trillion years in the future and they meet a man named Professor Yana, who turns out to be the Master, a recurring antagonist in Doctor Who. The Master then escapes the TARDIS to contemporary England and becomes the Prime Minister. After enslaving the world with floating murder balls, which later turn out to be humans from the future, the Doctor eventually defeats him and the Master's wife kills the Master. Afterwards, the Doctor is reunited with Donna while investigating adipose industries, who the Doctor has to stop from killing thousands of people while creating baby adipose. Later, the Doctor, accompanied by Donna, travel to the greatest library in the universe. However, it seems to be deserted. There they meet Professor River Song, who seems to know the Doctor, although the Doctor doesn't know her. They are in danger of being killed by the Vashta Nerada, swarms that live in the shadows, piranhas of the air. River dies while saving all of those who were trapped in the library. Later, with Donna, the Doctor re-encounters all of his companions for the new series, including Rose and her mom, Mickey Smith, Sarah Jane Smith, Jack Harkness, and Martha Jones. The Doctor is shot by a Dalek and uses the regeneration but puts excess energy in the hand that he lost but grew back the last time he regenerated, which later created a human version of himself from a meta-crisis that goes to live with Rose in the alternate dimension. However, after saving everyone from the Daleks, Donna, who became part Time Lord in the meta-crisis, has to have her memories of the Doctor erased, otherwise she would die. The Master returns and uses an alien device to rewrite the DNA of everyone on Earth and turns them into a race of the Master. However, Donna and her grandfather Wilfred are protected. After defeating the Time Lords and turning everyone back human, the Doctor must save Wilfred from a radiation chamber by taking all of the radiation into himself, prompting his last regeneration. He holds off regeneration long enough to say farewell to all of his companions. In regenerating, the excess energy destroys part of the TARDIS, causing it to crash.
Now on to the 11th Doctor, Geronimo!
Geronimo!
Geronimo.
Geronimo.
For God's sake!
After regenerating, the 11th Doctor crashes his TARDIS into the yard of a young Scottish girl living in England named Amelia Pond. And apparently apples are rubbish.
I need fish fingers and custard.
Anyways, getting off topic now. After crashing in Amelia's home and wrecking the place, he tells her to wait for 5 minutes, where he promises to return and help. Unfortunately, the Doctor is rubbish at using his TARDIS and arrives 12 years late. There, they discover an escaped prisoner, dubbed Prisoner Zero, who has been living in Amelia's house all her life. Rory, Amy's fiancé and later husband, is dragged along with them on their adventures as they save worlds with the Doctor. They also go on adventures with River Song, explaining how she knew the Doctor in Season 4. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and that happens when Rory and Amy are sent back in time, and are apparently unretrievable to the Doctor. After losing them, the Doctor swears to never interfere on the planet. That is until he meets Clara, who has been constantly appearing in his life for some unknown reason. Eventually, the Clara of the time period he's in dies, so he sets out to find the current one. Fast forward and the Doctor is in a town called Christmas, which he guards against every alien race in the universe. He actually lives long enough to die from old age.
After getting a new set of regenerations from the Time Lords, he regenerates into Capaldi, who unfortunately has no catchphrase. Clara, even though expecting him to have regenerated, doesn't trust this new, older-looking Doctor. The 11th Doctor had thought this might happen and made a phone call to the future to try to convince Clara to help him, who is not him, but is him. After Clara learns to trust and accept him, they begin traveling together. 2 series later, Clara dies, leaving the Doctor distraught and is teleported into a mysterious castle that has signs of previous habitation. The castle also seems to be vacant of life except for the creature that follows him wherever he goes and would mortally wound him if he was touched. Eventually, that leads to him discovering a 20-foot wall of asvantium, a material that's 400 times harder than diamond, which naturally he decides to punch repeatedly until the creature gets him. Wounded and dying, he drags himself to the original room he appeared in and recreates himself with the teleporter, killing himself in the process. This entire process happens repeatedly for 4 billion years until he finally breaks through the entire wall, getting to his TARDIS and freedom.
We'll stop here to finally stop spoiling everything else.
But there's so much more!